Hello there, and welcome to a little programming project I've recently worked on. Before I get in and explain it, let me just give a little background to why I did this. I was browsing YouTube one day, and I watched a few different programming channels and whatnot. And then I got a recommendation in my feed from Sebastion Lague. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. But it was on A-Star Pathfinding. And I was like, well, let's find out. And so I watched his first video. And it was an amazing explanation on how A-Star works. I was like, you know what? That's kind of cool. I kind of want to try that. Done a little bit of programming previously. Done it kind of a little bit of different languages and different types of programming things in over past few years. And so I was like, well, he's got a series of this, so let me just watch what he does. And he ends up he uses Unity. I've used Unity before. And he uses Unity to just make a little pretty basic program where units search out and find a target and they'll move to it, and it's pretty cool. When I was done watching, I was like, I want to give it myself a try. So so the computer that I edit this video on, it's pretty bad. It's very old and slow, and it can barely run Premiere to allow me to edit this video. So the chances of it running Unity, no, it's not happening. Actually, I did try to launch it. It doesn't work. It's terrible. It's way too slow. You'd never be able to do it on that computer. However, I do have a school Chromebook, and I found this website a while back called glitch.com. This video is not sponsored by glitch.com, but that's not. Anyway, it uses HTML and JavaScript, and so I was like, well, I've done a little bit with JavaScript so far, so let me just do my own A-Star pathfinding project on Glitch with JavaScript. Okay, so I just made a pretty basic website. You can actually see it here. All it has is a canvas and some text on it that will change to show a few different things. This canvas has basically just a bunch of white squares and some black area to it, and then that text at the bottom. Right now, it currently just says, pick two nodes to find the shortest path between. Kind of poorly worded. Is it? I don't know. But if you just pick, say, I'll pick this node here, turns blue. Blue is just the starting node. And if I say pick this one over here, it will turn purple and it will generate a cyan path between the nodes. So click it, and you can see the path. It took 9 milliseconds to do that. The length is 35 nodes, and it had to check a total of 138 nodes. So that's just kind of the information that it gives. And so if I want to use the same walled area type thing, I can just press R on the keyboard and it'll remove the path. And let's find a path between this one and this one. And so it took 13 milliseconds, it's 33 nodes, and it checked through 218. You'll also notice that it can travel diagonally between two corners of the nodes, and if I didn't want it to do that, I can just change the code up a little bit and it wouldn't be able to do that, but I figured I'll just do it this way. Pretty simple, don't have to change anything. And so if I want to get a new area, I can also just refresh the page and it will give me a new area as they're randomly generated when the page loads. Okay, so what else does this program offer other than just finding a path between 2 points that I put on the screen? Well, it's got 3 different modes that I have it set to. This first one is basically where the user picks 2 points, and if they want to pick 2 more points, then they just hit R and it clears them, and then you can pick 2 more twice. And you'll see that you can't actually reach them. In fact, you can't actually connect those 2 points, so it just finds the node that is closest to the target, and it finds path 2 there, and it still completes it. Now, you may wonder what the 907 nodes is. Well, that's the node that it has to check in order to find it. So I'm going to do it with a slightly different example, and it's going to go like all red on me if I display them. So if I just find 2 nodes here, you can see this path, and if I want to display the nodes that it checked, I click D. And so there's red and green ones. The red ones are ones that it has already checked and has given a path to, and it knows how far it is and all that fun stuff. And the green ones have path and whatnot, but they haven't been like fully checked. That's why they're on like the outside. You can even see if I hit P, you can turn on their path. So if you pick literally any node, it has a path going back to the start. And obviously the purple one, its path follows, the cyan nodes. But kind of hard to see on this. Even if I turn off the other ones, it kind of makes it harder to see. So that's kind of a little bit of a cool thing I added, but kind of hard to see sometimes. And so it has to check all these nodes, and so if you have like a straight line, it doesn't check that line, so because it's a straight line, but it always will check the ones all around the next one, and that's why you have like these 2 green areas on the outer side, including even in the opposite direction, because when you start out with this node, you have to check the 8 around it, and then you find the closest one to the target, which would have been this one, and then you check all the ones around it, and you repeat that process. And so if I go from like here to here, you'll see that it tries to go this way too, because it doesn't know that it can't go this way, but it just checks. It starts going around this way and around this way, and it just ends up stopping here. So these are all red. It's checked them and going this way. Obviously it wouldn't check here because those were never closer than another node. And so one of the other modes that I have on here is if you click T to switch to the second one, it randomly generates 2 endpoints, and so every time I click R, it just finds a new one. Let's just turn that off. And so you just click R, it just finds the new one. Kind of lame, but if you really want to find one, that's where it is. So the third one, which I think is kind of my favorite one, is the endpoint will follow wherever the mouse is. So if I T, you can see it's trying to get as close as it can. I'm actually going to refresh and get a new area here. So hit T twice, you can see the purple node is now following it, and if I go over to black, it doesn't go anywhere. It just sticks at the last node that was on it. So now if I click, it will live update the path to it. And you can even see when I hit D, you can see all the nodes that it has to check. So when I start going up here, it doesn't really know whether it should come this way or if it should go this way up here. And so it starts checking around, and you can see it starts checking around on that one, and you can just see how it adjusts to where it is. Again, you can turn on the paths. The paths all update every time, and you can see how long it's taking. But other than that, there isn't much more for this project that I wanted to show you guys, so that's going to do it for this video. If you like the video, give the video a like, all that cool stuff. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. It'd be nice to have you. May or may not do cool, maybe not cool, I don't know. This is like a half bad. I mean, right in the tab it says not too shabby. So, see you next time.